You're listening to Let's Talk a Little Shop with me, Stephanie Beringhele, your professional podcasting resource for staying on trend and connecting you to the news that matters in the retail world. Let's talk a little shop. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk a Little Shop. I'm your host, Stephanie Beringhele, and I am so excited to introduce our guest, Damian Polak. Damian, not only are you a buyer, you're also a seller, which makes you extremely unique and valuable, especially for our community. So thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It really is an honor. I'm super excited to be here. As you know, I've shot some videos on ASD and I'm a big fan of the trade show. It's definitely one of my favorites. But yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. And so I am a stalker and I totally checked all your social channels. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you launched your business in 2020, which is crazy because that's when the world shut down. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So, yeah, we definitely launched in 2020. We are pretty new, 3 years old, and we launched during COVID. So as you just said, it sounds a little crazy. Not a lot of people were doing that. But me and my founder, David, really saw the opportunity in the discount store model and figured that if there is going to be a time where, discounted goods and, deals are sought after is going to be during an economic downturn. So we started with a bin store. It's kind of like a new fad nowadays where it's these stores that, people buy returns or overstock. They dump them out on tables and everything starts at $6, $7, $8. And then it just goes down to $1 throughout the week. And then the store gets restocked and happens again every week. So that's kind of what we started with. Did that for around 2 years and quickly transitioned over to the wholesale and the supply side. Within 2 years. It's
so crazy too, because I know, so I'm a mom, I've got 2 kids, and it is all about value. Even though now we're past COVID and everything, I'm going to Dollar Tree stores, I'm going to Walmart, I'm going to places where I know I can extend my buck. Because kids are expensive and there's other things in life that we have to, do. So I think you're perfectly on trend, although it must be really hard to source product. So I know our listeners would love to hear, how do you get your inventory?
So that's kind of where my money is made. So I don't know how much detail I can get into in that. But, we work with the big box retailers. So Amazon, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walgreens, CVS, there's pretty much anyone and everyone that has overstock or returns that they need to get rid of. Yeah. And as you know, space is money and a resource, right? So if they have, returns or overstock just kind of piling on and tying up their cash, tying up their space, tying up their labor, they want to get rid of it and move it as fast as and efficiently as humanly possible. And that's kind of where we come in. So we got lucky with, being introduced to some bigger players really early on and doing some good business with them and just started kind of growing and expanding from there.
So Damian, we at ASD Market Week obviously have a lot of clients who bring interesting on-trend items, but I'm curious to see you go all over the place to source inventory. So what's the craziest items you've ever purchased that actually made a lot of sense money-wise?
You'd be surprised what you can make money on. I always say, the money's made on the buy. So as long as it's a good deal up front, then you can find the right buyer and make some change on it. And that's kind of the philosophy we have around here. So we sell anything and everything. We can sell ice to an Eskimo. So we don't discriminate on the items, anything from just general merchandise that you can find in random retailers, pillows and comforters and things like that, to, sex toys and drug paraphernalia and things like that. I mean, that's not our specialty, but
it's out there.
Value, it's out there. There's a buyer for it. There's always a specialty shop that's always looking for cheaper inventory. So closeouts are definitely interesting. And you've come across a lot of because you got to consider, why is this item getting closed out? It probably didn't take off in the general marketplace. So now they need to liquidate it and recover cash. And they have this really obscure and weird item that they need to get rid of. To answer your question though, so when we had the store, we would be sorting pallets by the hundreds every month, right? So we were finding really, really odd things coming in from Amazon. I had no idea that they even sell. But the one thing that comes to mind is a full on metal knight chain armor, knight suit, with the helmet. I'm talking about like when we put this on, you're like, this is like 50 pounds. Like, this is insane. Like, what the hell? How did this even get here? So I kept the helmet, sold the rest. And
that was your souvenir.
Yep, exactly. I was like, this is way too cool. So no, but we find stuff all the time. I mean, anything from like silver coins, like why is there silver coins on Amazon? No idea. Things like that, just weird gadgets, like old video games or old like little antiques that you would think are fake, but they're not. Really expensive electronics. Like, I just crashed a $1,500 drone that I bought. I found on a pallet, fixed it, crashed it 2 days later. So gotta go get it fixed again. It's fun. It's a really fun business to be in because of like the variety of merchandise. It just keeps shifting. It keeps changing. We're in the return space, right? So it's a lot of different SKUs every single day, and every single pallet and item is different. So it's fun. It definitely keeps it interesting.
I love it because my kids, so they come home and they always want random stuff, and I can't keep up with it. So right now they're all about those squishy pillows.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them like
literally a whole pallet came in like 2 days ago. I'm not lying.
So you're right on it because all the kids have it, and like I look at it and I go, they're so germ infested, right? I gotta have to figure out a way to clean it. But the kids love it. They absolutely, like every store we go to, that's what they want to buy, and they're not that expensive. So for me as a parent, all for it.
Yeah. I mean, when those the fidget pops or what the little, you know what I'm talking about, the little poppets. When those were hot like a year ago, it was crazy. I mean, we were getting that stuff by the pallets, and it was different shapes and colors and sizes. So it's cool because it keeps keeps you on your toes, and I mean, shows me the trends that are going on without even like looking for them. So it's pretty interesting to see for sure. And
correct me if I'm wrong, you service and sell to some pretty amazing brands like Costco and Walmart and all those guys. So how does that keep you on your toes? Like, how do you get everything organized where the warehouse is set and you can just help facilitate and do everything at like optimal levels?
So we don't sell to them yet. Plug. If you guys are watching, definitely down to sell to you guys. But we source from them. So we actually buy their overstock and returns. But I mean, warehouse is just a warehouse. It's like every other operation, right? You need really good people. That's number one. Really good systems, procedures, SOPs, things of that nature that kind of help us stay on our toes and keep everything organized and clean. The liquidation space is also like not always, but often looked down upon. Like, it has a negative connotation. Like, oh, you're a liquidator, so you're probably just dealing with scrap and, just random crap that's coming in. But it's really not like that. It's, we get brand new items. We get things that are really, really sought after. We get thousands of units of clothing that, never been worn, but just so happens that Target can't sell an X amount of those yoga pants, and now it's just taking up shelf space. So they rather just get rid of it and recover that cash, and then we get it and sell it. So yeah, just good procedures, good people, and just staying on top of it because this is a very disorganized chaos.
You have to have a lot of grit, I think, especially for the liquidated closeout business. So I think that grit and that constant treasure hunt for inventory and sourcing it, I think that's key. And it seems like you guys are doing a really good job. And I think what differentiates you from some of the other guys that are out there is that you are on it with social. I mentioned it earlier, but you have tutorials on your website. You've got a great YouTube station. So if you're out there listening, you have to check it out. How does that play? I think even I saw a note that you had put on LinkedIn where like, I'm going to dedicate more time in this space because I just want to connect and I want to get to know this universe a little bit more.
So social media has just been a huge part for us of just differentiating us. I mean, without social media, without posting on LinkedIn, I wouldn't be here right now or talking to you and ASD. So, that's kind of been the idea since the beginning. When we kind of got into this space, we've noticed quickly that there's not a lot of technology involved right now in this space, that there is a lot of improvements that we can kind of come in and within the first 2-3 months really make and just implement that will take us to a whole new level, right? And the YouTube channel has been instrumental in everything, to be honest, in selling, sourcing, connecting, networking, and anything and everything. And it's just been huge. And content has been a huge part of that marketing process. And, people spend thousands of dollars on ads where you can just get really active on these social media platforms. They're free. and start connecting with individuals that are trying to do the same exact thing you are, right? So, you know, I connected with you and just started talking shop, right? Like, hey, like, what's going on? What are you guys doing? What are you planning for ASD this week? Like, this and that. How did the show go, right? And it's I feel like a lot of people are afraid to make these connections, thinking that maybe, oh, Stephanie's like really, you know, really busy right now with ASD. She's not going to want to talk to me. But I know for a fact is like you need the feedback, right? Like you want to connect with the people and the boots on the ground to see, hey, what can we do better? Like, what did you like? What didn't you like, right? And that feedback is what's really important. So, yeah, just taking action and just putting yourself out there, I think, is what, differentiates us.
I love that you address, I think so many people are scared to do social and they're scared to put themselves out there. And that's what humanizes the whole experience. So like even us talking today, there's so much content out in this space and people have great stories. People have been through the ringer. And at the end of the day, it's an industry that's so amazing. And we keep producing inventory that goes to these stores or sold online, and it keeps everyone in movement. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say out there, if you are listening to this, don't be afraid. Like, start small. Just get active on some of the social sites. What about you? What's your favorite site right now? Because I think your YouTube is pretty amazing. I mean,
I love YouTube. All right. I can't pick favorites, but I'm going to pick YouTube right now. Just because our channel has done so much for us. It really, you know, put us out there, put us on the map. And it's the most fun. It's so organic that it's really is us. We don't act like we don't. You know, we're not pretending to find cool things. Like we're doing like unboxing videos or like, hey, we bought like 500 microwaves, right? And we're not sitting there and fixing them up and making them look like brand new microwaves. It's like, guys, we bought 500 and 400 of them are broken or nasty, or like this is what happens when, you know, there's a reason why these were $8 a unit instead of 80, right? So we like it because it is us. It's transparent. It's organic, and it's just it's fun. It really is.
So if I'm somebody out there and I've never done any of this, what are good like beginning steps of just to start the process? Like, what are your recommendations to just
start shooting? Just start doing it. That's it. That is that simple. Like, I mean, like you just mentioned the LinkedIn, right? I've had a LinkedIn for, I don't know, 10 years, whatever, 5-10 years. Never really was like posting or too active on it. But then why not? Like if I'm reading a cool article, like I'm reading it regardless, I'm probably either going to text my friend or I'm going to call my mom or my girlfriend, whoever it might be, to just like, hey, look what I just read and discuss it, right? So why not just put those thoughts onto a post? Like just mention something, 5-6 sentences, and you'd be surprised what comes back to you. And what you put out into the world is what's going to come back to you. So, you know, if I'm posting something about these articles that's very interesting, like I actually made a connection this week. This guy's like, hey, you're into this stuff? Like, I'm actually like 3 blocks away from you. Like, we do the same thing. And I'm like, what? Like, you really? You're 2 blocks down?
Let's connect.
Let's connect. Like, can I come by see your operation? Yeah, you can. Go ahead. Went over there, checked out his thing. I'm like, that's how you do cardboard in your warehouse? Oh, my God. We're wasting so much time and blah, blah, blah doing it this way. And it's the weirdest little instances that just make it worthwhile. And there is no direct pay, I would say. A lot of people have they have that like mental block of like, how am I going to monetize this? And how is this going to like bring money into my pocket? And if you kind of shift that mentality and just say, hey, whatever I put out into the world is going to come back around sooner or later. That's kind of how I like to see it. And that's
love it.
Yeah.
That, and you're so right in the fact that, you know, I'm in the trade show business, right? So for ASD Market Week, we're all about making connections, and somebody's out there doing something similar to you. And if they have a better method of doing it and that can help you in your everyday life or your team, it's totally worth it. So I think that that's a great tidbit to share. And for ASD Market Weeks, I know you've done a few vlogs and stuff like that, but a lot of...
Can I get a media pass?
I had to say, you get a media pass. You get a media pass.
I'm so tired of people judging me when I'm walking around vlogging around.
We're going to have to... See, now that we've connected, we have to elevate it and see what we can do. But
sorry, I had to throw it out there. It wouldn't be Damian if I didn't throw that out there, right?
No, I appreciate that you did. And I think that Actually, you do a really good job. So we have so many people that call in and they go, we do not understand what this marketplace is about. We see that there's apparel, we see that there's beauty, and then there's general merchandise. What is it?
Well, it's different. It's definitely different. It's definitely different than other trade shows that I've seen. And I think that's what kind of intrigued us since the beginning, because there's everything. Like it's for everyone. Like I've never seen a show that kind of like is like whoever you are and whatever you do, like you should go because it will be worth it. You might be like a roofer, or you might be a car mechanic, or a wholesaler, or a liquidator. Like there's something there for you. So definitely enjoy that about ASD.
I think that's the beauty of it too. When we talk about it as a team, we're very inclusive, and that if you've got something to sell, or if you're looking to buy something that you just had a hard time finding it in the universe, it's just a great event to kind of come together, do the networking, explore aisle by aisle to see what inventory is there. I have a lot of clients that are like, oh, I just will go to a few booths. You can't do it that way. You gotta hit the aisles because that's where the money is. Like you have to go find that treasure. And that's what you do best. That's what you're doing 365 days a year, is you're trying to find the best items that can make you profit. So I think that's something that if you're listening, make sure every single aisle be like Damian, source.
Definitely.
And
money's made on the buy. That's like my good friend from Florida, Scott, mentioned that to me like 3 years ago. He said that to me, and I've ran with it since, because the money is made on the buy. It doesn't matter what the item is. It doesn't matter what quantity. It doesn't matter what quality. As long as it's at a good price, you're going to be able to make money on it. So yeah, money's made on the buy. Remember that, live by it, and you'll do fine.
Well, Damian, thank you for joining me today. We are so excited to have had your thoughts and your commentary. And how can people connect with you outside of this realm? What's the best way?
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And how do we do that? Those that don't know, how do we do
see everything. Go on YouTube, Nice Find Wholesale, or nicefindwholesale.com. Send us an email. Shoot me a message on Facebook, and we can connect. Connect with me on LinkedIn. That's a good one, too. It's my new thing.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for all those that are listening. Until next time, stay trendy. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk a Little Shop. For more episodes, be sure to subscribe to this podcast in iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, or Spotify. And you can help us grow our reach by simply giving us a like, share with friends, comment, and of course, we love positive ratings. Till next time, stay on trend.